I'm Matt Wiederhold. Welcome to another edition of Medina Minute. Today we're going to sit down and talk with some of the faces and the people that you see around town and learn a little bit more about their stories and how they ended up in our town. Welcome to another edition of Medina Minute. We're here with Shawn Fugarino from Buckeye Super Wash.
There you go.
I feel like you have to do this. You said, how do you guys introduce yourself? Hi, I'm Shawn from Buckeye Super Wash.
Well, it's funny. Actually, most people know us by Buckeye Car Wash. I think it's just.
Oh, really?
Even though it truly is
Buckeye
Super. No, it's truly Buckeye Super Wash.
Okay.
It's just I think people kind of cut it off and say Buckeye Car Wash, and so.
Was it ever Buckeye Super Car Wash?
No.
It's not just a car wash, it is a super car wash.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's funny, when we came up with the name, we've been in business since 2006 or 7.
Okay.
Long story, but when we started, the idea was, Buckeye, the Buckeye State. We didn't go to Ohio State, so there's no correlation there, but the idea was we're going to take the Ohio market over, or that was kind of the thought. So we went with the Buckeye theme. We are Buckeye fans. So we just it happened rapidly, and we just kind of came up with the name Buckeye Super Wash. But hindsight,
so you took the theme on, you took the color scheme on.
Yep.
All right.
We went all in. So
nice. How did you end up buying a car wash?
Good question. So at the time, I had a corporate job. My partner is my brother-in-law.
Okay.
So we both had corporate jobs. And we had been talking for years about, getting into.
What were you doing on corporate job?
I had a medical sales job.
Okay.
So, called on ophthalmologists and eye cares, ENT allergists. So, and then at the time, my partner was in the pharmaceutical industry, and we just had been talking about it, about doing something, and what could we do that would be able to work while we didn't have to be there in theory. So we started looking we started looking into the laser washes and the self-serve car washes where you don't necessarily have labor there or have to necessarily have people on site.
Yeah.
So we started looking into it, and long story short, we got in connection with a company that had some self-serves and in-bay automatics, which are the ones that are unmanned. They call them laser washes.
Okay.
And just financially wasn't something that we were interested in at that point. And so he turned us on to a couple other opportunities, and we originally started out in North Royalton, and then ended up, we didn't buy the full property, which was a lesson learned. We bought the equipment, and then fast forward a lot of history there, but we ended up making a relationship with Susan K. Car Wash, which is the one we have now.
Okay.
I think it was one of the original car washes in Medina County. It's been around.
That's what you were telling me. It's been around forever.
Forever.
Apparently.
And so, family owned, and just built a relationship, and it was getting to a point where he didn't think his son or family was going to take over. And so, I guess we built the relationship, and the opportunity presented itself. So then we kind of took over.
So are you from Medina? Did you grow up here? You moved here?
Northeast Ohio. I was born in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio.
Okay.
Pretty much where I lived most of my childhood.
Yeah.
Started out, my wife is from Medina, so I started out at Mount Union College, and then went there for a couple years, played football, and then ended up transferring to Kent State.
Okay.
And then that's where I met my wife. And
what did you study?
I got a degree in business management.
Okay.
Couple minors, marketing and computer information systems. And then, like I said, I met my wife there, and I guess the rest is history. Here we are. She's from Medina.
Okay.
So that's what brought us back here. Her family lives here, along with, she's got 2 sisters, which I mentioned, my brother-in-law.
Right. So
her older sister is married to my partner. So.
Is it hard working with family? Like, do you ever get to to not talk about work? I imagine you sitting down for a holiday dinner. It's like, boy, I got those new sponges, or I don't know what the hell you have in there.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever get to step aside from the car wash when you're with family?
Surprisingly, it's not. I mean, I guess we do a pretty good job at keeping the family with the family and,
Yeah.
and separating the car wash. I mean, when we talk about it, I mean, I think everybody's involved just because they're interested and exciting. It's a family
Sure.
business, and so I think it's the first time the family's had a business, so I think
Okay.
there's some interest in that,
Yeah.
you know, kind of how do you do it, what's going on, but it's not that we sit around all Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter and talk about it. It's actually, you know, but we enjoy it because,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's one of the nice things that we kind of hang our hat on is, you know, we're the only family-owned car wash really in
that's
town.
cool.
So it's,
So do you guys have like plans for a global empire of Buckeye Super Wash National?
we've talked about some ideas, you know, potentially expanding or looking at other locations.
Yeah.
Haven't made the definitive answer or decision
Sure.
at this point, but it comes down to, as we all know, the market and the industry and
Right,
the
right, right, right.
financials. But you know, never say never.
That's a good motto. I like that. I'm curious, as a kid, what did you, as little Shawn running around Cuyahoga Falls, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up? What was your dream job?
Golly. It's funny. I think you know, I thought about a lawyer if that pops into my mind, and
Yeah.
I don't know why because I don't necessarily have anybody in that field. I don't know if I enjoy like documentaries and crime movies and things, so I don't know
Okay.
if that was part of the interest. My mom was a nurse. I thought about potentially getting into the medical field. Initially, started out in sports medicine at
Yeah.
Mount Union, and ended up transferring to Kent, and really the only other option was nursing, and I just wasn't interested in nursing, so I
Okay.
went to business. So
Nice,
that's kind of
nice.
the transition. But so yeah.
So was one of your dreams owning your own business? Or you didn't
Yeah,
even know?
I don't think, you know, I don't recall sitting back. I mean, I think at the time I played football at Mount Union, and I had
Yeah.
this ambition to, you know, be a professional athlete, and that didn't work out. So I don't know that I had any, you know, I'm going to be a small business, the next Mark Cuban or
Sure,
next,
sure.
you know, Elon Musk type mentality.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of evolved through my corporate experience and
it
kind
worked
of
out.
learning what made me happy or how I would like to kind of manage things and who I would work for.
How do you, I'm always fascinated by car washes. Like, how does it even work? Are some cars hard to wash? Like, what if someone comes in with a big truck and it's not going to fit? What do you do? They're already in the queue, and
Yeah,
how do you deal with that?
Definitely, what's interesting, it doesn't seem like cars are getting any smaller. When I see, you know,
Right.
we wash a truck and I think it's the biggest truck we've washed, I see something bigger.
Yeah.
You know, we try to advertise signage and try to, you know, we do have some, when we're collecting, when you first pull in, we try to eye things up. If we think there's a tire that's too big or a truck that's too tall, we have
Right.
a clearance sign. Ultimately, if they've gotten to the point where they're, you know, in line and there's cars behind them, there is a kind of an escape route. But obviously, if we're
Just in case.
if we're busy, it can be a little bit of a task. But
Yeah.
fortunately, it doesn't happen too often. Most people, I think, when they have a bigger vehicle, they're kind of preemptively before they get in line, they might call or send an email
Okay.
or even park out front and say, "Hey, do you think my vehicle would fit?" Which is huge. But yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that's one of the things we do. And as far as the process, I mean, you know, there's two different types of car washes. One of the things that makes us unique is we're a touch-free wash. You'd mentioned about getting
Okay.
vehicles clean.
Yeah.
You know, there's different ways of doing it. You can rely on the chemistry, water quality, pressure, which is what we rely on, is the high pressure, the quality,
Okay.
the chemistry, and the water. And then, you know, your friction washes, as they're referred to, are the ones that have a lot of the wraps and cloth that are kind of trying to knock the dirt off. And there's
Right,
pros
right.
and cons to both of them.
Are there like national car wash conventions? And please know, I'm fascinated by
Yeah.
what you do.
So
Like,
are there any?
Yeah, like do y'all get
so
together
there's,
and talk about
so
new
there-
chemicals, or
yeah,
I
so
imagine this like little secret society about car
it's-
wash owners.
it is, so it's in an interesting transition. There is an association called the International Car Wash Association. They
Okay.
actually have a national show once a year. It rotates between Vegas and Nashville.
Okay.
Actually, the one's coming up in May. Now that I've got kids that are active, I don't necessarily have the freedom to attend those. But I mean, they're your typical trade show, and they're very large. I mean, this industry in the past probably 5 to 7 years is just, it's insane how big
Sure.
it is. I mean, there's big companies, big money, and it's growing. It's a huge industry. You're getting a lot of private equity money getting into it. A lot
Okay.
of it's kind of transitioning from that, family, small mom and pop type thing to kind of a more corporate type environment.
Yeah.
So it'll be an interesting, probably next 3 to 7 years to kind of see where the dust settles.
Okay. When you're a busy man, I've been trying to have you on the show for a long time. Now you have a family. Like, how do you strike that balance between how hands-on is your job at the car wash, as opposed to family time? How do you do that between just being dad Shawn, owner Shawn,
Sure.
business owner Shawn?
It's definitely a challenge. I mean, I'm a workaholic, which is a good and a bad thing.
Right.
Obviously I do have a home office, so I could always find something to be doing. And
Yeah.
although I do my best to balance the two, I mean, I attend a lot of my kids' activities, and I'm balancing that. Fortunately, the day-to-day operations, I mean, I've got great employees, great manager. My partner and I, we kind of help balance things off. But to be there every day, to make sure the lights and things are turning on aren't necessary. But it's really just, it's like anything. You gotta check in on things. You gotta make sure things are meeting the quality and the the equipment, and so. It really just comes to trying to discipline yourself and knowing when to turn the switch off and when not to. And
Are you good at that?
no, I'm not.
I didn't think so.
Not good at it. It's funny. I was talking with my wife. We're talking about like coming up with hobbies and things to do, and I'm like, I need to find a hobby to kind of balance things out. So
That was one of my questions. Like, do you have a hobby, or is it family car wash?
It really is. It's family. I mean, family's number one.
Sure.
As with most people, and like I said, it takes precedent over everything else.
Yeah.
So I really don't have any hobbies. It's just I'm so busy. I'm either at the car wash or I'm doing stuff with the family.
Yeah.
So
If money were no object, time were no object, the car wash was running itself, what's your dream vacation? Either for you and the wife, or you and
Sure.
the family?
We're beach bums.
Okay.
Enjoy getting to the ocean and the sun and trying to relax.
Yeah.
It's
What's your favorite destination? Where do you guys go?
It's funny. I'm going to mispronounce this, but it's the Bahamas. Is it the Bahamas?
Bahamas?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've been to Exuma.
Okay.
And that was probably our favorite vacation. But I've been to Aruba. I've been to the Floridas and things like that. But for me, it's really any beach and any ocean. I don't think we're set on any specific destination.
Have you guys ever taken a cruise?
We have.
Did you like it?
We did. It was just
Okay.
my wife and I, so it was no kids. It was fun. It was. I don't know. We've talked about would we do it again, and we never really made a definitive answer. Obviously, things are different. Times are different now with cruises, but I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
They freak me out.
Do they?
I don't understand how something that big can float, and how can you have 10,000 people on the ship, and then
It's fascinating.
you see those terrible videos on YouTube or when you're flipping through Facebook that the ship's going like this, and like if I could see land the whole time, I think I could be okay with it. Like
Fortunately,
a Mississippi River cruise, I'd probably be down for that. Did it freak you out at all? I mean, that's a big thing in water.
I think it was more fascinating than fearful. I just, I guess it obviously depends where you let your mind go and what could potentially happen. But to me, it was more fascinating. Just that, like you said, you walk up to the ship at the port, and you're just like, you think you've seen pictures and reference points, but then you get there and you're just like, wow, it's just huge.
So, on that.
And it is amazing that how much as big as the ship is, you do at times, can feel rough waters, and it can definitely get you a little paranoid.
Yeah, you said you like documentaries. Have you ever watched those documentaries about how they actually run the ship, like just unloading all the food? And
I have.
What is
seen
it for? Like every 2 guests, there's 1 staff person or something?
I forget the ratio, but the behind-the-scene operation is.
That's the part that
insane.
fascinates me.
I mean, it is truly insane. I mean, it's literally a city on the water.
On water, yeah.
From doctor to food to preparation, and like you said, when you get there in the transition between the offboarding and onboarding, you can see all the cranes. Because when you're sitting at port and they're loading everything up, I mean, you can see them preparing the ship to leave the port. So
I don't know. I'll stick with
pretty
Mississippi
amazing.
River. You mentioned documentaries, crimes. Like, what do you like watching?
It's funny. usually just flip through the channels. We'll watch, I'm trying to think of the network that we watch. Like,
do you like unsolved murders type things?
yes, like
or
unsolved mysteries, things like that. That
bludgeoning people in
no,
one?
more just like crime, unsolved murders, things like that.
Yeah.
That are, get you to think differently or inquisitively.
Does it ever make you want to become a detective?
Well, it's funny when I said
Or
earlier.
you really are, and you can't tell me about it.
Yeah, it's top secret.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, that's part of the curiosity, I think. I don't know if being I mentioned earlier, being a lawyer, if it came from watching those, when you have defense attorneys and things like that, if it was the curiosity of the detective work in the scene and solving the problem or fixing the problem, was kind of the curiosity.
What do you guys love most about being part of Medina and living here? Like, if you have guests from out of town, what's the Fugarino list of we're going here, we're going to eat here, we're going to see this?
I think it's obviously downtown. We love the local family. Like I said, my wife's family's still here. Her two sisters are around.
Yeah.
We'll do the all the common restaurants, whether it's Time 2 or try to sneak them into the Castle Noel.
Yeah.
We'll hit some of the the local spots here, whether it's what's the burger? I can't even think of it.
Marley's, PJ Marley's?
Yeah, PJ Marley's. 17. We'll just kind of float and see where the day takes us. But I think that's one of the nice things is, and obviously everybody loves seeing the gazebo, and hopefully you try to time it up when there's a lot of activities going on and like Christmas time and things are decorated.
It is a special place. Do you think when your kids get old enough, will they take over the car wash?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. We've kind of, as my daughter, I have two girls. One is 12, almost 13, and one is 15. So she's a sophomore, and trying to talk about what she wants to do, in college and what courses she can take in high school. And I'm not sure. I just having the dialogue, and it would be nice if they were interested in it. But I think time will tell.
Yeah.
They've asked questions, and there's some curiosity there.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
But eventually you hope to retire, put the wife in the plane, and you go to the Bahamas.
And that's exactly it.
I love it.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Awesome. Shawn, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. Appreciate learning more about this. And I got to ask, like, do people, are they smart alecks and they get in line for the car wash and they put on the 70s tune at the car wash? Do you guys get tired of hearing that?
It's all good. We're used to it. I haven't heard it lately, but we've actually done a few videos where we've kind of tried to capitalize on the song, working at the car wash.
All right, well, I won't torture you with my rendition, but
all right.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it, man.
Take care.
Good seeing you.